Hello, all you wonderful viewers. Welcome to our live stream this week for an insider's look at CloudNative SecurityCon. I'm Katie Greenlee, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you today. Thank you for joining us. We have a few housekeeping items before we get started. During the live stream, you're not able to talk as an attendee. There is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free to drop your questions in there, and we'll get to as many as possible at the end. This is an official live stream of the CNCF, and as such, it is subject to the CNCF Code of Conduct. Please do not do anything in the chat or ask questions that would violate the Code of Conduct. Basically, please be respectful of all your fellow participants and presenters. Today's live stream will feature our CloudNative SecurityCon co-chairs. We'll dive into what they are the most excited to share with the community, their tips and tricks for a successful CloudNative SecurityCon. So I'd like to take a minute and welcome our guests, Ray and Kaylin and Marina, who are your organizers of CloudNative SecurityCon, and they're excited to share their knowledge with all of you. So welcome, everyone. How are all of you today?
Doing good. Getting excited.
Good. Great. Well, how about we just jump right in and we'll start with let's chat about what you're most excited for CloudNative SecurityCon. What are the themes that you think are going to come out of it this year that people would be talking about after the event and into the remainder of the year?
I guess I can start. Yeah, I think the most exciting thing about any of these conferences is, of course, getting the chance to meet in person with all the wonderful open source folks that that I get to work with online most of the time. So super excited about that. I'm also particularly excited about a lot of the talks in the supply chain security space. And there's been a lot of exciting work happening and a lot of presentations in that space that I'm super excited about. So.
Yeah, same for me. The supply chain security track is always big for me. But I'm really excited we have a new track this year. It's the leveraging and preparing for AI in cloud security. Since AI is a hot topic, of course, this year and a half or so. So we've added that. We have a new track on how to leverage AI and how to prepare for AI. So really excited for that.
Kaylin, what about you?
Personally, I'm pretty pumped. I always love hearing about like the collaboration and advocacy talks. I think that figuring out how we as security professionals can work well with the folks that are consuming our products is really important to me. And just kind of moving toward not being seen as like the blocker or the problem or introducing toil. So I always find those talks are really insightful and lovely.
Yeah, these are all great themes and everything. And I know Ray, you touched a little bit about the AI being a hot topic for 2024. Is that something you see woven throughout the conference this year? I know there's a new track, but is it kind of top of mind that you're feeling like a lot of people are focusing on, and one of the bigger challenges that people are starting to face for 2024? Or is it kind of, so new that it's kind of more of like a relevancy of people touching on what they need to start thinking going into the future regarding AI?
Yeah, for me, it's pretty new in terms of in the cognitive security space. So I think myself and other folks are interested to learn how we can use AI in cloud native security. Because cloud native security has many challenges. It has many abstractions that made it very difficult for other security teams. So with AI and cloud native security, I'm definitely looking forward to what it brings. For me, it's always been software supply chain has always been top of mind as well for the past few years. Of course, observability is always top of mind for many ops folks. So there's several topics that are top of mind, but I think AI is definitely increasing velocity.
Yeah. Marina or Kaylin, what other challenges do you think are going to be top of mind for everyone in 2024?
I will toot my own horn a little bit because this relates to my keynote, of course. Plug, plug, plug. But
Yeah.
I think that the last year or so has been a big shift in the market in general. And as expected, that has had big impacts on the open source community and availability of contributors and bringing in new contributors. People are finding that there's less support from employers for that work. So I think that security is one of the areas that benefits the most from the open source community. It means that like you get to collaborate with industry leaders. Like Tag Security will work with you to ensure that your cloud native applications are meeting like the biggest security standards in the industry. In fact, it's usually the people that are creating those standards that are helping you look at your applications. And so I think that it's really important that we start to teach our community as leaders in the community. We start to teach all the folks that are coming into it how to sell open source contributions and let their employers know that like this is not just like theoretically valuable. This is there's data to show that this work has really high impact on employee productivity and knowledge, as well as business impacts. Like it will make money if you encourage that kind of culture. So that's kind of what I'm seeing as a big challenge.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. It's great that you brought up the tag security. I know, Marina, you're part of the tag security and how those folks will be on site to help really review people's projects and get them up to security standards. Marina, what is it from like a tag security standpoint? Do you think that people should come prepared to this event with to be able to make the changes that they need to for each of their projects?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing to come to the event with is just an open mind and like, you know, come with questions. I think that's the biggest thing. And like, yeah, just talk with us about how security is going for your projects and see what the other big issues are that we as a tag can kind of help with. I know we write a lot of white papers, both in general for cloud native security, but also for like specific subdomains as things come up that lots of people have questions about.
Oh
Frozen.
no, we lost Marina. She's frozen. Hopefully she'll come back and we can kind of touch back in on that. While she's kind of fixing her video and everything, why don't we jump into talking about hands-on experience? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, there. I think she'll join back in. We can kind of talk a little bit about like the hands-on experience of capture the flag. I know that's a big exciting thing that people like to participate in. So when is capture the flag happening? I know there's 2 intro sessions. I think there's 2 capture the flag runs. So Ray, Kaylin, do either of you want to kind of share when they're happening, what people should be thinking about when they join Capture the Flag? Maybe a little brief overview so people can be prepared.
Yeah, so Capture the Flag is happening on Thursday, June 27th at 11 a.m. Pacific. It's open to anyone who's even never done a Capture the Flag experience, or it's a way to get hands on keyboards and try some different attacking techniques. Try to use some and exploit some vulns that you could be able to capture a piece of information, which is the flag, and the whole entire goal is just to learn. And it's done in a controlled space as well. So it's not you're not trying to hack into a cluster out in the open, but it's in a very controlled space. There's specific tasks as well. There's in several past Capture the Flags, there's been task masters as well to help out. And there are several scenarios as well. So I'll just reading up on the past scenarios, like from 3 years ago. Like one is to break out of a container and onto the host machine, and how to get access to a secret file on the host machine. Another one from 3 years ago is like an internal registry has been hijacked, and how to find a secret that those hijackers have left in a running container. So these are some of the fun, cool scenarios that they've done in the past. past. So so if you're excited, if any of this excites you, if any hands-on experience excites you as well, to try to do break into a cluster, break out of a running container, feel free and come and join us on Thursday, June 27th at 11 a.m.
Perfect. Thanks, Ray. And Marina, I'm glad that you're able to join back in. I know you're talking a little bit about white papers, and that's kind of where we lost you. Do you want to finish up, other things that the tag does?
Yeah, sorry about that. So we do the white papers for general guidance in the community, and we also do security assessments for CNCF projects, which I think Ray kind of hinted at earlier. And especially for projects when they're moving level stages, when they're really like focusing on these security aspects, but really any CNCF project that wants another set of eyes. This is a great opportunity to really think about security and your security posture with the group. So that's another thing. If you're a CNCF project coming to the event and want to chat with us about that process, that would also be great. So.
Awesome. What sessions are you all the most excited to attend? I know that each of you probably have planned out your own schedules outside of your co-chair duties. I know it gets kind of crazy on site, but Kaylin, why don't you share what session you're the most excited to attend?
I think not just because he's my friend, but definitely that's a contributing factor. I'm super excited for a mouthful of mayhem, taste test and gut response to salsa guac and supply chains plat du jour by my old colleague and friend, Shane Lawrence, who's an amazing speaker. He was a keynote at this conference last year. I'm excited for this because almost my entire time that I've been in the cyber security, cloud security domain, it's been like S-bombs. And I feel like that's such a small portion of supply chain security. And it's just been so hot for so long. And I feel like the supply chain world a little bit is starting to say like, okay, yes, we need that bill of materials, but really we already had some foundational supply chain ethos that were really great, like slim containers and minimal images and being like, just knowing what the dependencies are is good, but really having a healthy system of what vetting dependencies that you're introducing. And I have no idea if that's what Shane's going to say in his talk, but it really resonated with me, being like, yeah, supply chain is so important and it's so crucial. And we see almost like micro trends within the supply chain world. So I'm assuming he'll highlight some of those, and he's just so entertaining. So I would highly recommend checking it out if you want a fun talk.
Awesome. That does sound fun. And I like the title. What a creative title he came up with. So I always am such a sucker to go to those like fun title ones. Marina, what about you? What session are you the most excited for?
Yeah, I guess a little bit of a self-plug, but I'm excited about the Level Up Your Security Career with the Tag Security Community. It's not my talk, but it's Andrew Martin, who's a former chair of Tag Security. We're talking more about how to get involved in the tag, and he's also a great speaker, so it should be a fun talk. So
yeah. And the tag is super busy, and it's a great kind of working group that is always, like you said, pumping out white papers and things like that. So it's one of those groups that I think is incredibly successful that people should consider coming and being a part of, because there's so much going on that people can really get involved really easily from like a super simple standpoint. If they're just like new in the space, or if they're looking to more expert level, they can get involved in that way too, which is really kind of a nice diversity within it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, definitely open for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ray, what about you? What session are you the most excited for?
Yeah, I actually have two. So one is it's a tutorial called Sailing the Security Seas with Tetragon. So that's by Duffy Cooley. If you've ever seen a tutorial by Duffy, it's always the best. So I've been a big runtime security advocate for a few years. I was affiliated with a project that was big on runtime security. So Tetragon is a CNCF project. So it is based on eBPF for runtime security and observability. The second talk I'm excited for is also an Andrew Martin talk as well. It's called called "Is the Internet on Fire? Strategies for Mitigating Open Source Vulnerabilities" by Andrew Martin and Michael Lieberman. So this is great for those who are maybe might be newer in the cloud-native security landscape. So they'll review the open source security landscape. They'll take a look at tools and patterns and practices on how to defend against supply chain attacks and other things with security.
Yeah. I agree with you. Duffy does some really great tutorials. So I do think that if people are able to go to his tutorial, they should. Or in general, any tutorial that's being offered, because it's always the best like hands-on experience. But I am excited to hear a little bit about what Andrew and Michael Lieberman. I know they're both like you said, Andrew used to be a chair of tag security, and Michael Lieberman's super involved in tag security. So that's another really great talk by two people who are very invested in this community. While we're talking about all the fun of the conference, I know there's always lots of stuff going on. So how do each of you prepare yourself for a successful event? What are your tips and tricks that you want to share with people when they get on site that they should really think about prior to joining everyone in Seattle? Ray, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, so for me, I like to do a little research, so I make sure we get all the conference details in advance, familiar with where the venue is, where my hotel is, what the schedule is, and I also like to create calendar entries as well on my calendar for any talks that I want to see. I also like to think about if I have a specific goal in mind and purpose. If I want to, there's a takeaway I want out of the conference. Are there specific people I want to meet at the conference as well? And if they're speakers, to find out where their talks are as well. And if I'm speaking at a conference, and this goes for any conference, I like to check out the room where I'm speaking. I actually do a little research, like find the room capacity beforehand. And also just a little advanced research, just so I know what to expect when I'm going in into the conference.
Kaylin, what about you? What are your tips and tricks for when you're getting ready to get on site?
I think the first couple conferences that I went like hog wild and tried to fit everything and anything in. And I was very shy. I was afraid of the hallway track. So recently, I have taken a much more structured approach to any conference that I attend. I usually do a bit of prep work and reach out to my network to see who's going to be there and who I want to prioritize time with. So whether that's meeting with vendors for my job or if that's meeting with folks in the community for my SIG security responsibilities, that's kind of my top priority. It's not often that we all get to be in the same location. I'll then look through the schedule and not just find talks that I really want to go to, but also look through the speakers and again, use that to see is there someone that I've been really wanting to talk to who I've seen around the industry a lot, and maybe I'll reach out to them and ask if they have time to hang out with me. And if not, I'll just make sure I attend their talk and get in line. But that's the biggest thing is just, I think before I go, I'm really concerned with who's going to be there and how can I, as a community member and as a representative of my team, make the most of my time there.
Perfect. What about you, Marina? How do you get yourself prepared?
Yeah, a lot of the same things. Looking at the schedule, picking talks, and also finding empty times to meet with people, and maybe even scheduling some of those meetings with certain people that I know I want or need to talk to at the event. Other things is just kind of coming prepared with, good walking shoes, things to take notes with, water, just those basic things, because it can be they can be long conference days, and so just like taking care of yourself during that as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate sometimes these 2-day events that they don't need to pack those like comfortable shoes or drink lots of water or bring something to write with, but they're just as like sometimes those like shorter days or like the 2-day conferences, there's so much packed in, like you're just going the full time. So I think those are really great tips for people to keep in mind. When it comes to the event, before we kind of part for the day, what are something you want to leave all of our viewers with today that they should be thinking of, because we're about 2 weeks out, so it's coming up. We're excited for that. So what are your kind of parting notes for everyone? Marina, why don't you start?
Yeah, I guess just come join us. I think it'll be a great time. Be lots of great speakers, lots of great folks joining us. So should be a great time to learn more and get pumped about cloud native security.
Yeah. Keelan, what about you?
I would say if you're on the fence or you haven't registered yet, or even if you are registered, what I think is the most important thing for everyone to know is that like this is a new CNCF conference. This is I think our second year running, and what that means is this is like grassroots KubeCon style. It's not vendor heavy. It's not sales pitchy. It's a whole bunch of people that are super passionate about what's happening, and this is like, in my opinion, the hallway track that I look forward to all year. Like the conversations I have are so good. I don't find that I'm getting cornered by people who want to sell me things or talk about, and not that that's not enjoyable, but it's just like, as a nerd, this is what I like. I come out of this conference and I think it gives me like the motivation to go and like start a bunch of things, propose a bunch of projects. So if you're conferenced out, like I would consider adding this to your list anyway, because it is much more akin to a networking and community event than a traditional large conference.
Yeah. Ray, what about you?
Yeah, we also have a big focus on developers as well. So this is what we call a developer first cloud native security conference, and it's a great place so you could collaborate, you could have great discussions with folks, and it's a great place to share knowledge, like in any of the talks and tutorials and the hallway track.
Great. And I'm going to throw up a reminder for register now for all those folks out there watching. We'd love to have you join us. Thank you, Kaylin and Ray and Marina, for joining me today and talking to me about Cloud Native SecurityCon, what you all are super excited about. You've done a great job pulling the conference together and going through the CFPs and everything. So thank you so much for your hard work. And we are so excited to see everyone at the end of June 26th and 27th in Seattle. And we hope to see and get to talk to everyone there. Have a great day.